Now, I didn't know that this wasn't common knowledge. And if you didn't know this, that means you don't follow me. But white people have always indulged in cannibalism. They ate their slaves and they ate black people that were free after the Emancipation Proclamation, after lynchings. If you didn't know this, you don't follow me. And if you don't follow me, you should follow me. My name's Chemistry. I teach Black history. I'm not part of Hillman Talk. I just do this for fun and out of the passion that I have for spreading Black history. And just like everything else on my page, I'm not just feeding you a bunch of bullshit. There are a plethora of books that you can look into that proves that this is a fact. Books like The Delectable Negro, which covers recipes of how to eat black people. Another book called Edible People, The Historical Consumption of Negroes and Foreigners, and I believe it was like The Cannibalistic Trade. And that's just two of many. But yeah, if you want to know more about the topic, if you scroll down on my page, I have a video called White People Ate Black People. It's very, very informative. So go ahead, learn you something, follow me. I teach Black history. Also tap my link tree. I have a nonprofit, a YouTube, all that good stuff. And it is true. The reason we don't have a lot of Egyptian mummies is because white people ate them. And it wasn't just one or two. They ate them by the hundreds and almost to extinction. It was during the Victorian era. And if you know anything about the Victorian era, it was a long time after Egypt was already well established. And if you know anything about Egypt, it is a very complex civilization. That's where we had the hieroglyphs. That's where we had large towering statues and figurines that one's mind simply just could not comprehend on how it was created. It was very advanced, way more advanced than the Victorian people during the Victorian era in England. The thing about this was the reason they ate these mummies, and the reason that I guess it still kind of remains today, the reason that they eat these black people is because they want to embody that progression. They wanted to advance, progress their civilization. And during the Victorian era, they figured what better way to progress than to eat the dead people who have been mummified in a progressive I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sense of this, but that's literally their logic. Not to mention, it wasn't just, oh, they're going to eat them. They turned these mummies into medicine, known as mummier. Now, the use of these mummified, this mummier, began in the 12th century and ended in the 18th century. It's also believed that this is actually where England and like Europe inherited and I say inherited loosely, inherited the idea that there was an afterlife, because the afterlife is very much real, especially when it came to ancient Egypt. They honored their ancestors. They did veneration. People like the priestesses and things that walk this ground, they were like embodiments of what is beyond what we see, right? And in the Victorian era, they kind of struggled with that. They didn't really know. So long story short, they ate us because they wanted what we had.